Yo, what's up mga pare ko? I'm back here with a new video. Please subscribe sa ating channel and click the notification bell button para lagi kang updated sa ating mga videos. So yun nga no, nawala tayo ng matagal-tagal kasi natake tayo ng masalimut na karamdaman ng sipon, ubo. Ayaw ko na. And now we're totally good and we're back on the track. Mag-aaral tayo. So, ang topic po natin ngayon, guys, is tungkol sa complex numbers, mathematics of engineering. Alright, so bagong lahat, dapat maintindihan natin yung ano ba yung concept ng complex numbers. So, basically, guys, complex numbers, from the word complex, ibig sabihin, komplikado siya. Bakit komplikado? Kasi, complex numbers includes the the imaginary number. Kailan ba tayo magkakaroon ng imaginary number? Basically, magkakaroon tayo ng imaginary number if that's square root of negative 9. Diba? Our initial view is that square root of negative number is impossible kasi hindi siya pwede. Pero pwede mo siyang i-simplify as 3i. And the value of i, guys, is square root of negative 1. So, as we were talking about a while ago, complex numbers, these are numbers involving the imaginary I. Alright? So, complex numbers, nasa form siya na z is equals to x plus iy. Iy, ito yung imaginary part. X here is the real part. We will delve on that later. Kung paano natin. Okay. So, complex numbers po, may apat siyang form. First, it can be in geometric or coordinate form. Second is the rectangular form. Third is the polar form. And last is exponential form. Let's start with the general kasi yung pinaka-general na ginagamit, guys, is the rectangular form. Rectangular form is z is equals to x plus iy. Sulat natin dito, z is equals to x plus iy. Now, x here is the real part. Is the real part. I here, iy, is the imaginary part. In the same manner, guys, ang x kapag i-convert natin tong rectangular form sa geometric interpretation or coordinate kasi kailangan nating mag-graph dito kasi kakailangan nating mag-graph. Ngayon, yung x and y, these values x and y, these are the coordinates ng x and at y axis. So, let's say, for example, given na rectangular form natin dyan is z is equals to, let's say, 2 plus, 2, let's say, minus na lang. 2 minus I1. Hindi, I4. Let's say, I4. Para i-convert natin tong rectangular form na papunta sa geometric interpretation or what we call the coordinate form, ito yung x value, guys. So, first is we move to the x-axis 2 times. So, this would be 1, 2. So, andito siya. Okay? Dito. Tapos, the y part is negative. Ibig sabihin, it will go downwards. So, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So, bale, ito yung ito yung value ng y natin, ito yung x. Next to that, kailangan nating mag-draw sa gitna nito ng ating r or the modulus. So, okay, from rectangular form, alam natin that this is the x coordinate, this is the y coordinate, this is also called the real part or this is the y part. Pag nasa coordinate form na tayo or sa geometric interpretation, nadagdagan na yung mga variables natin. First, we have here the x. Next, we have the y, angle, r. R is also known, hindi siya radius, guys. R is representation of modulus. Okay? Okay, next. Yung next na kailangan natin dito is yung theta, the angle. Okay, so saan ba ito yung angle? The angle form here. Okay. Guys, always remember na yung angle natin is magbe-base siya dito sa axis na to, which is this is the 0. this is the 90, this is the 180, this is the 270. So, for example, yung R natin is, let's say, for example, that this is our R. Yung measure ng angle is not this, mali to. Hindi rin ito yung angle, mali yan. Hindi rin ito yung angle, mali rin yan. Yung tamang angle ng R is this, papuntang dito sa 0. This is the correct angle. Alright? Always na dito magsisimula yung counting ng angle. Okay, another. If yung may dalawang possible answers kasi ng angle, either ito, papunta dito, or pwede rin na ito, papunta dito. Okay, guys, all okay. Remember, kung yung angle mo is measuring from 0 going counterclockwise, remember guys, counterclockwise, that would be positive. Counterclockwise, that would be positive. Clockwise, kapag yung measure mo is yung pag ganon, that would be, your angle would be negative. So, there are two possible angles, either yung clockwise angle niya or yung counterclockwise. It will yield the same answer, guys, kahit positive or negative ba yan. Okay? I hope you're getting the point. So, let's go major backwards. Okay. So, ito na yung natira sa atin. Okay, so balik tayo dito. What are the 4 parts pag kailangan nag-perform ka ng coordinate form? Dapat yung x value, next, the y value, third is the r or the modulus, and lastly is the theta. Kaya dapat alam mo yung 4 na yan para ma-graph mo, mailagay mo kung ano yung coordinate form niya. Okay, so we are good with the coordinate form, rectangular form. Dito naman tayo sa polar and exponential. Okay. Guys, polar form is nasa format siya na z is equals to r. Again, ano yung r natin? R is the modulus. Ito yon. R is the modulus. Angle theta. Okay. If you have watched my video in trigonometry, I have said na there are 2 ways to measure the angle. First way is either by degrees, and second is by radians. Dapat, guys, alam nyo na kung paano i-convert from degrees to radians and vice versa. When you are converting degrees to radians, what you need to do is to write here the given value. For example, let's say that's 180 degrees. I-convert natin to sa radians. What we just need to do is to multiply this by pi over 180. So, if that's 45 degrees, i-multiply na natin dyan sa pi over 180. However, if you're converting the other way around, let's say radians to degrees, what you need to do is to write the radians. So, for example, 3 pi, that would be, you would multiply 180 over pi. Itong 180 over pi, tsaka ito, constant to, guys. Bakit ganyan yung constant na minumultiply natin? Our goal here is to eliminate either the pi or either the degrees. So, sa example na to, magka-cancel yung pi, magka-cancel yung degrees, tsaka yung degrees, maiiwan yung pi. So, nasa radians na siya. Ito, magka-cancel yung pi, now nasa degrees na siya, na na-convert natin. Ang palatandaan mo kung nasa degrees siya ay meron siyang symbol na ganyan. Sa radians, ang palatandaan mo kung nasa radians siya is meron siyang pi. Okay? I hope you get that explanation. So now, i-convert na natin yung R. Okay, so yan. Polar form natin, ito R is modulus. Ito yon. And theta, again theta, ang theta natin is yung from the R sa modulus papuntang 0 axis, something like that. So ito yung tamang 0 axis. So guys, if example lang kung sakali lang, siguro andito yung R mo. Let's say this is your R. Yung tamang theta mo is either ito, that would be a positive theta, or ito, that would be a negative theta. Kahit ito or ito, that would be the same. It will yield the same answer, guys. Alright? Hope you're getting the point. And lastly, okay. Also, always remember guys, na sa polar form, yung measurement ng theta should be in degrees. Okay? In degrees dapat to. Always in degrees. Pag polar. Pag polar guys, always in degrees yan. However, pag exponential yan, ang form ng exponential po natin is z is equals to r. R is the modulus. E is yung constant to, nasa calculator. Basta, wag nyo nang pakialaman. Basta may E dyan. Parang, basta constant yan. Wag nyo nang pakialaman. Modulus E, tapos, I, theta. Meron din tayong theta dito. Meron din tayong angle. Anong pinagkaiba ng theta dito sa theta dito? Yung theta natin dito, dapat naka-radians siya. Okay, so, ang pagkakaiba lang ng polar sa exponential, same na may R sila. Ito, may E siya, pero yung theta nito, degrees, yung theta nito is in radians. Right? So, these are the four. First is geometric. Kailangan sa geometric, kailangan mo ng modulus, kailangan mo ng theta, kailangan mo ng x, kailangan mo ng y. Rectangular form, you just need the x and the y, the real part and the imaginary part. Sa polar, kailangan mo ng modulus, tsaka theta. Theta, dapat naka-degrees. Sa exponential, kailangan mo ng modulus, tsaka theta. Theta, dapat naka-radians. Alright, so let's move now. Basically, mangyayari dyan, mga examples is conversion. Magko-convert tayo ng each form. Let's say, for example, we have here a rectangular form. Iko-convert natin yan sa polar form. So, I will show you paano natin gagawin yan. Okay, so sabi dito, may rectangular form tayo na z is equals to 8.66 plus I5. So, first step in converting is dapat alamin natin kung anong meron tayo para mas-solve natin ng mas maayos. So, dito, since naka-rectangular form siya, alam natin na 8.66 is the x-coordinate and 5 is the y-coordinate kasi nasa rectangular form siya. Don't forget the form na z is equals to x plus iy. Alright? So, we know that the x is 8.66. We also know that the y is equals to 5. Okay. So, guys, we will now solve for the polar form. Polar form, okay? So, there are two steps. First is show natin yan step by step. Una, the best way here is to graph para ma-visualize nyo kung ano yung itsura niya. Okay? So, let's say that that's x is 8.66. Since that's positive, we go to the right of the x. So, let's say that's andito yan. For example lang, that's 8.66. Pero pag we are required to graph, we graph it properly. However, tapos y, 5, since positive siya, it's going up. So, 5 is here. Then, we draw an angle here. This would be the R, okay? So, the measurement of R. Okay guys, before that, we are converting rectangular to polar. Again, what is polar? Polar form is z is equals to r and angle theta. So, kailangan nating hanapin kung ano yung r tsaka ano yung theta. Alright? So, what we are doing here, we are finding for the r and the theta. Okay, so ano ba yung theta na hinahanap natin dito? Yung theta na hinahanap natin dito, again, is the angle from the r to the 0. Ito yung 0, di ba? Ito yung 0. So, mali pag ito yung hinahanap mo, mali pag ito yung hinahanap mo. The angle that you're finding is mula sa R papuntang 0. Alright? So, this is the theta. So, how will we solve for the value of R? Okay? How will we solve for the value of R? Mapapansin nyo, we are already forming a right triangle. From this, hanggang dito, we are forming a right triangle. This is the x value, this is the y value. So, to solve for the hypotenuse or the r, we can simply use the Pythagorean theorem. So, that would be c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared. Yung a and b natin is the x and the y values. So, what we just need to do, square root natin yan kasi that would be c is equals to x. X squared is 25 plus y squared 8.66. That would be 8.66 squared. So, using your calculator para mas mapadali, 25 plus 8.66 squared. Ang answer natin dito, guys, is C is equals to approximately 9.99. Let's just round that off para mas mapadali yung buhay. That's 10. Okay. So, C is 10. Ito yung C natin. This is the hypotenuse or the R. So, now, we are now convinced that the value of R is equals to 10. Okay. So, since we have the value of R, next, let's find now for the theta. Ito yung theta natin. Dito natin ma-apply yung ating trigonometry knowledge. Okay. So, since we have the values of 10, the 3 sides, we can solve this either by using cosine, sine, or tangent. So, but for me, I prefer using the tangent theta. Okay, as we know, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. So, let's now solve for the value of this angle. So solve for the value of this angle. That's opposite. What's opposite of this theta is y. Y natin is 5. Okay? So, tan theta is 5. Ano yung adjacent? Adjacent to this theta is x, which is 8.66. 8.66. So, to solve for that, we will be using shift tan. Shift tan 5 over 8.66 would be equal to theta would be equal to 30 degrees, approximately 30 degrees. So, theta natin dito is equals to 30 degrees. So, this theta is 30 degrees. So, since that's going counterclockwise, tama lang na positive. Okay, so now, we can now write for the polar form. Our final answer would be Z is equals to R, the value of R, or the modulus is 10, angle, the theta, which is 30 degrees. Tama na nasa degrees siya kasi polar form. Yes? Okay, so let's try to extend more this problem. Polar form and exponential form. So how will we convert this to exponential form? Basically, guys, exponential form, we just need to write the we just need to write the form para mas madali natin mahanap. Exponential form, ang form yan, Z is equals to R, E, huwag natin pakialaman yung E, I, theta. At sabi natin, kapag sa exponential form, ang theta natin should be in radians. Ito, nasa degrees to. So, what we need to do is to convert this degrees into radians. So, basically, that's 30 times, sabi natin, that would be pi over 180 degrees para mag-cancel yung dalawang degrees. So, we can solve for the value of pi. Cancel natin yan. 180 divided by 30 is 60. So, our final answer is pi over 60. So, to write this, so this is the value of our theta, diba? Na nasa radians. So, to write it in exponential form, basically, that's Z is equals to 10 E I pi over 60. Yan. This is now in exponential form. This is in polar form. Kapag kailangan nila ng coordinate form, ito yon, coordinate form or, yeah, the graphical interpretation. So, I hope you're getting the point. Okay, let's try more from this. Pabaliktad naman tayo mag-convert. From polar form, which is Z, polar form ulit is Z is equals to R. This is the modulus. Ang angle tapos theta. So, ang sabi dyan, that's 14. Z is equals to 14 angle 32.25 degrees. Kulang yung tanong. Convert the polar form Z into, dagdagan natin, into rectangular. Say rectangular. Okay, ano ba yung rectangular, guys? Ano ba yung rectangular form? Rectangular form is in the form Z is equals to X plus IY. So, from this form, i-convert natin dito. So, kailangan nating hanapin yung X value and the Y value. The real part and the imaginary part. So, dito, ang given natin, we know that R or our modulus is 14. We also know that our theta is equals to 32.25 degrees. Kapag nahihirapan kayong gawin to ng walang graphical interpretation, mas magandang we draw first the graphical interpretation para madali nating ma-visualize. Okay, guys. First is the theta, which is 32.25. Again, sabi natin, ang theta natin is mini-measure from the angle 0. So, since that's positive, we go counterclockwise. Pag ganon, let's say, okay na yan. Then, R, which is 14. let's say that's the R. So this is the R, which is 14. This is our theta, which is equals to 32.25. Ang hinahanap po nila na X value and the Y value is this. This is the X value and this is also the Y value. Okay. So, kung mapapansin nyo, we are all again forming a right triangle over here. Diba? Right triangle. And we have one side and we have we are given with the side with the hypotenuse and the angle. So we can solve for the value of X and Y using trigonometric identities. We know that cosine theta, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So what is adjacent to this theta? Adjacent to this theta is the side X. That will be X in the hypotenuse, which is R. So we are solving for X, diba? Ito yung sinosolve natin. So, ilagay natin yung R sa kabilang side ng equation para X lang yung matira. So, cos theta times R would be equal to the value of X. Same dito, sin theta would be opposite over hypotenuse. What is opposite of this theta? This angle, opposite of this theta is Y. So, that would be Y over X, over R, I'm sorry. So that would be, in simpler terms, R sin theta would be the value of Y. So we derive to this formula. This formula will be very helpful para hindi na kailangan nating i-graph to. So that would be X is equals to cosine R cosine theta, and to find for the Y, that would be R sin theta. So this formula, these two formula will be very helpful para hindi na natin kailangan gawin yung ganitong interpretation. So kapag given na tong R tsaka theta, we can immediately solve for the value of X and Y without doing the graph. It would be very long. Okay? So this would be the shortcut part. These formulas are constant, kaya hindi siya magbabago all throughout kahit anong problem yung tinatanong nila. Okay? So to solve for that, that would be X, R, our value of R is 14 cosine 32.25. This would be 14 sine 32.25. To solve for that, the value of our X, 14 cosine 32.25. That would be X would be approximately 11.84. And Y would be approximately 7.47. Okay, so we can now write for the value of the rectangular form. That would be Z would be equal to 11.84 plus 7.47 I. Basically, here, this is our answer. Okay? So, lesson for this problem, we should know these formulas if we are converting either from polar to rectangular para mas madali nating kuha yung sagot without doing the graph. But if you prefer to do the graphical interpretation para mas ma-visualize, then go. It would be time consuming, but at least it's more sure, right? Okay, last question. Convert Z is equals to negative 2 minus I3 to exponential form. Okay guys, what's exponential form? Exponential form is Z is equals to R, meron tayong E, don't mind the letter E, I theta. And remember, theta should be in radians. Okay, so first here, we need to solve is to identify ano bang meron tayo. We have the value of X and we have the value of X and we have the value of Y. X is negative 2, Y is what's the value of Y? Y is negative 3. Okay? Without doing the graphical interpretation, let's solve for the value of R and the value of the theta. Kasi mas mahabaan tayo pag may graphical interpretation. Diba? So what we need to do here, using the Pythagorean theorem, is to solve this. C would be equal R. Let's make it R, that is the formula, R is equals to square root of x squared plus y squared. So R is equals to square root of, what's x? X is negative 2 squared plus, that's negative 2 squared plus y, which is negative 3 squared. So to solving for that, it would be square root of 4 plus 9, that would be square root of 13. So the value of our R is square root of 13. So this is square root of 13. Okay, now, solving for the value of theta. Solving for the value of theta, theta would be, I prefer using, diba? I prefer using tan. Tan theta would be always equal to y over x. That would be a constant. So, y natin is negative 3 and x natin is negative 2. So, that would be a positive number. So, tan theta, that would be solving that in calculator. Magiging arctan siya. So, shift tan sa calculator, that's negative 3 over negative 2. The value of our theta would be equal to 56.31. Okay guys, are we sure na this is the value of our theta? Hindi, we are not sure kasi hindi natin alam kung saan ba nakaposition yung R natin. So basically, kailangan pala natin gumawa ng ating graphical interpretation para mas mahanap natin kung saan nakadegrees tong 56.31. So what we need to do here is to find, since alam natin yung x and y, i-plot natin. X is negative 2, so that's going to be negative 2, 1, 1, 2, so andito siya. And y is negative 3. Negative, so pababa siya. Ibig sabihin, andito yung R. So when the R is there, this 56.81 is referring to this angle. Always na naka-refer siya dito sa by x-axis. 56.31. So now, again, sabi natin, yung theta dito should be from the R going here sa part na to, sa 0. So to solve for that, since we know that the half of a circle is 180, we add here 180. Bakit positive 180? Kasi it's going counterclockwise. Kung counterclockwise, positive. Pero kung clockwise yan, that would be negative. So the final value of our theta would be equal to, excuse me, 56.31 plus 180, that would be equal to 236.31. Okay guys, so the value of our theta here is 236.31. The value of our R, as we said a while ago, is square root of 13. Guys, we are not still done. This is in degrees. We need to convert this into radians. So to convert that, we just need to multiply pi over 180 degrees para mag-cancel yung degrees. Nasa pi na siya. Ibig sabihin, nasa radians na siya. So solving for that, that would be 236.31 divided by 180. That would be equal to 1.31. 1.31 pi. Okay? So we just need to write our final answer. Z, the value of R is square root of 13. E and I, and the value of our theta in radians is 1.31 pi. So this is the exponential form that we are finding. When we are adding and subtracting complex numbers, we can only, pwede lang natin silang ma-add if nasa rectangular form. So always step 1 is to convert the given into rectangular form. Okay? So our given here is Z1 is equals to 2.5 minus I4, and Z2 is equals to negative 1.5 plus I6. Simple lang po pag nag-add or nagsusubtract tayo ng ating mga complex numbers, we just add the real part or the x coordinate and the y coordinate. As simple as that. So we add this, that's 2.5 plus negative 1.5 would be equal to 1. Am I right? Yeah. And if we add 4, parang x lang to, parang 4x, negative 4x plus 6x. Pero I siya. So that would be 4 negative 4 plus 6, that would be positive I2. So this is the sum. Z1 plus Z2 would be equal to 1 plus I2. As simple as that. We add the real parts. We add the imaginary parts. If that's subtraction, we subtract the real parts, we subtract the, and that's the answer. As easy as that. Alright? Sa multiplication naman tayo, guys. Multiplication and division of, so dito, as I would like to emphasize, na dapat nasa rectangular form siya. If hindi siya nasa rectangular, we need to convert them first to rectangular before we can actually add or subtract them. That's the only way. Okay? Now naman dito naman tayo sa multiplication or division. When we are or multiplication or division, pwede na tayong mag-multiply kahit if nasa region, if either nasa rectangular siya, it's either nasa polar, or it's either nasa exponential siya. Kahit any of these three, pwede na natin yang i-multiply or pwede natin yang i-add. Unlike sa addition or i-divide, unlike sa addition or subtraction na kailangan naka-rectangular. Dito, the rule is dapat lahat naka-rectangular lahat sila, or lahat naka-polar lahat sila, or lahat naka-exponential sila. So, dito, ang given natin is naka-exponential silang dalawa. So, we are tasked to find for the value of Z1 times Z2. Okay, so let's write that. Para hindi tayo mahirapan, guys, I would like to make this whole number. That would be 2 minus I4. I would like to make this negative 1. Negative 1 plus I6. So, i-multiply natin yan. Basically, guys, if we are multiplying that, we use the FOIL method. We distribute yung typical na multiplying binomials. Palang we are multiplying binomials here. So, to solving here, negative 1 times 2, that's negative 2. Negative I4 times negative 1, that would be positive 4I. That would be I6 times 2, that would be positive 12I, diba? That was 6 times 2. And lastly, I6 times I4 would be equal to 6 times 4 is, that would be negative 24. I times I is I squared. Tama ba? Yes, tama. So, let's simplify this. This would be negative 2. 4 plus 12 is 16I minus 24I squared. Okay, guys. Remember ulit, sabi natin noon, the value of I is square root of negative 1. So, kung ito na square root of negative 1, na square to, ibig sabihin, magka-cancel to, mawawala yung square root. So, yung matitira lang is negative 1. So, let's put here times negative 1. Okay? So, negative 1 times negative 24 would be equal to positive 24. So, that would be positive 16I negative 2. Pwede na natin i-add yung negative 2 tsaka positive 24. Ito magiging 16I plus 22. So, guys, if we multiply Z1 times Z2, we will have this answer. Ito po yung result niya. Alright? Let's move on. Paano naman pag division? Pag division, guys, okay. Dito tayo. I forgot to mention paano pag polar yung pinag-multiply mo. When we are multiplying polar, let's say Z1 is equals to 10 angle 20 and Z2 is 2 angle 10. Let's say these are the two polar forms. Pag nag-multiply tayo in polar forms, madali lang yan. What we need to do is to multiply yung real parts. That's 10 times 2, that's 20. What will we do here sa ating mga angles or sa ating mga theta is just to add them. 20 plus 10 would be equal to ang angle 30 degrees. Okay, again, if we are multiplying in polar form, same, i-multiply lang natin to. Pero yung mga theta, we just add them. Paano pag sa, let's say, sa nasa exponential naman? Let's say that z1 is equals to 10e equals to pi I pi. Yan. Then z2 is equals to 20e is say I is equals to 4 pi. Ganyan. Siguro ganyan. Same lang siya sa polar form. What we need to do is i-multiply. Multiply natin itong real parts nila or the modulus. That's 10 times 20. That's 200. And lastly, next, i-add lang natin yung mga theta nila. That's pi plus 4 pi. Adding pi plus 4 pi would be equal to 5 pi. So that would be E, I, 5 pi. Yun lang. Okay, always remember, just multiply the modulus or the R. And next is to add the theta or yung mga angles nila. Okay? So, that's it. That's for multiplication of ito. Multiplication via kapag nasa rectangular sila. Ito pag nasa polar. Ito pag nasa exponential. Okay, division naman tayo. Division. Okay, so we are tasked to divide negative 2 plus I3 over 4 plus I4. Kung mapapansin nyo guys, these forms are what we call in the form of rectangular form. Kailangan nating rectangular form. Okay, so when we are solving in rectangular form, we do the process called rationalization. Okay, rationalization, what we just need to do is to get the denominator and change the sign of the denominator. Baliktarin lang natin. So kung negative to, gawin natin positive. So, since this is positive, we just copy that. That's 4. Palitan natin yung sign. Negative I, 4. We equate that to itself. 4 minus I, 4. For this, divided by this is equal to 1. Walang nangyari. We did not do a wrong move. Kasi kapag hindi to equal to 1, we did a wrong move. Okay? So, solving this, kung i-multiply natin to, this is the difference of two squares. So, solving for that, that would be 4 times 4, that would be 16. Since this difference of two squares, that would be 4. 4 times 4 ulit is 16i squared. Diba? Next here is to multiply natin to using FOIL method. So, ganon. Tapos ganon. Then, ganon. Tapos ganon. Okay, so let's try to multiply that. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 2 times negative I4 is positive 8i. Tama ba? Yan, that's positive negative 8i. Next is I3 times 4. That's positive 12i. That's I3 times is negative. That would be negative 12i squared. So, let's simplify the terms. Negative, this would be equal to negative 8. 8i plus 12i is the same as plus 20i. Minus, as we said a while ago, I squared, this is equals to negative 1. Diba? Ito rin, this is equals to negative 1. So, negative 1 times negative 12 will be positive 12. Dito rin sa baba. Negative 1 times negative 16 would be a positive 16. So, 16 plus 16 is basically 32. We can simplify this further. 12 plus negative 8 is positive 4 plus 20i over 32. Okay? So we can write this in a more simpler manner. This would be 4 over 32 plus 20 over 32i. Yung mga to, pwede pa natin dyan masimplify. 4 over 32 is 1/8 plus 20 divided by 32 is 5 over 8 5 over 8i. So this is our final answer. So dividing this, ang result niya is 1 over 8 plus 5 excuse me, 5i over 8. So paano naman kapag yung mga to, so how if we are dividing in polar or rectangular form? Guys, di ba kanina, I said a while ago, na kapag when we are multiplying, we just need to multiply this and add. Dito, i-multiply din natin to and add the theta. However, kapag division yan, we do the opposite way around. We divide this 10 divided by 2 is equals to 8. Joke lang. 10 divided by 2 is equals to 5. And kung dito, kung sa multiplication, in-add natin to sa division, we just need to subtract them. 20 minus 10 is 10. So this is the result dividing Z1 divided by Z2. Dito naman, kapag nasa exponential naman siya, let's say Z1 divided by Z2. Again, I said a while ago, i-divide natin tong mga modulus niya. So, 10 divided by 20 is 1/2. Tapos, let's write letter E. Then, yung mga theta niya, which is pi, kung sa multiplication, nag-add tayo dito, i-subtract naman natin kasi nagdi-divide tayo. So, pi minus 4 pi is equals to negative 3 pi. And don't forget the I. Alright? So, this is our answer for this certain problem. Kapag multiplication, we multiply this, we add. Pero kapag division naman, we divide this, we divide the modulus, and we subtract the angles or the theta. Yeah? I think you're getting the point. Let's try more exercise. We have the question number 3 here. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So, let's try solving this. Fast track natin siya para may examples tayo. Okay. This is 3 plus 4i. Okay, so, we evaluate first itong nasa loob, diba? So, i-distribute natin yan. Tapos i-distribute natin yan. So, okay, let's distribute. 3i times 3 is equals to 9i. Tama ba? Ay, joke lang. Okay, so try natin i-solve to, guys. So, that's minus 3. So, let's rewrite this. This would be 3 plus I4 minus I3. So, ito, from this, pwede natin itong mas i-simplify na. I4 minus I3 would be 3 plus I. Imaginary 1. 1 na yung ano niya. Kasi 4 minus 3 is 1. Tapos, let's erase that. Then, we multiply that 1 minus I over 2 plus I. So, multiplying this 3 plus I times 1 plus I, FOIL method. So, isulat ko lang dito. 3 plus I, 1 minus I. That would be 3. That would be I. This would be negative 3I. That would be negative I squared. So, to solving for that, that would be 3 minus 2I. This would be minus I squared. And again, minus I squared is same as negative 1. So, this is negative 1. Negative 1 times negative here. Minus 2i. 3. So, this is negative times negative. So, positive 1. 3 plus 1 is 4 minus 2i. So, this is the result of this, expanding this. So, this would be 4 minus 2i over 2 plus I. Okay. Now, we need to solve. We need to certainly solve. Hindi pa tayo tapos dito kasi meron pa tayong complex number dito. We need to rationalize it. As we said a while ago, kunin lang natin yung denominator and change the sign of the middle, yung gitna. So, that would be 2 minus I over 2 minus I. So, solving for that, that would be equal to 4 minus I squared. And we know that I squared is negative 1. So, negative 1. So, that would be plus 1. Diba? 4 plus 1. Okay, next is to i-fold method ulit natin to. 4 minus 2i. 2 minus I. May I kasi yun. That would be 8 minus 4i. Tama ba? Minus 4i plus 2i squared. And I squared is 2 times negative 1. That would be negative 4i minus negative 4i is negative 8i. 8. So, simplifying that, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. So, this is 6 minus 8i. So, ang answer dito sa taas is 6 minus 8i. Solving for that, 6 minus 8i over 5. Right? So, to make that into simpler, that would be 6 over 5. This is the x coordinate minus 8 over 5i. So, this is our final answer. Okay, guys, for your exercises, you try solving this certain example, and if sipagin tayo, try natin gumawa ng another video. Sa next video natin, we will tackle yung Euler's formula, tsaka yung movers. I think I will tackle, marami bang formula yung kailangan natin dito sa complex numbers. So, that's it, guys. I hope you learned a lot. Please subscribe sa ating channel and we will learn more. Bye-bye, mga pare ko.